can. line, give it all you can.
Give me a... Oops, that was supposed to happen. Give me a few moments, guys. Just give me a few moments before we get going. I was trying to eat as much food as I could, my takeaway, before the qualifier started. But anyways, welcome back to CRL for round 5 here at the Japanese Grand Prix Suzuka. And unfortunately, I did not notice that I was muted twice. So usually I use my controller mic or my controller button to mute myself, but I had myself muted on both of them and I didn't even realise. So throughout the whole race, qualifying session, I was talking, but it all meant for nothing, giving out very interesting facts about every driver and track, etc. But unfortunately, I didn't even notice I was on mute, so I really do apologise for no talking. I was really giving out some insights and important battles on the circuit. But in the last race, Jacob Booth was up to P3, and you got to feel sorry for him because Harry Palmer made a mistake and allowed Jacob Booth to go any podiums this season, or he hasn't scored any points this season. He's had a few DNFs, like at the Austrian Grand Prix, and I said this is a big chance to get himself on the standings. So let's hope Jacob Booth in this qualifying session can keep up the good pace he had through the remainder of this race and quali, and keep it up. We did see Ewan Small on pole by 100ths ahead of Jake Garrett, but Jake Garrett took the lead going down into turn 1. And ever since Jake Garrett took the lead, he went on to stay in first until the disconnection point. So, we've got Josh Evandro out there. Let me put it on my usual camera angle. So here we are then. Josh Evandro, as you can see there, nice shot of the mirror. So that's quite interesting. Why is the mirror facing towards the pit lane? He's not in the pit lane, he's on the circuit. So, a bit of a glitch there. But anyways, we continue on our way then with Josh Evandro as he exits turn 2. Going into the S section now, the fast-flowing S section. It is a Formula 1, but you're more on the brakes here. And in second gear he goes, using a lot of curve on the inside, as some drivers have been taking a lot of curve, I noticed, in qualifying and in the race as well. As we make our way through Dunlop, and now Harry Palmer made a mistake, which caused me to make a mistake later on, but I'm not going to admit what I did, because a lot of people beyond me. But Harry Palmer made a big mistake at the exit of Dunlop, which allowed Jacob and Christian to go through, and that cost Harry Palmer a potential podium. But this is a second chance for Palmer because he had great pace in the wet in the qualifying, but he made a big mistake which cost him a podium chance. And he did the same thing in Austria where he spun, rejoined down in P4, P5, but managed to take on Nathan Booth for the podium, last podium spot as well, as Nathan Booth was his main challenger because Ewan Small pulled away. Nathan had a lonely race out there, nobody to fight with. And he had Jurien van Vijnen right behind him too, but he was quite far behind, so had no one to fight with and was alone throughout the whole race, so I'm pretty sure he didn't mind. But it was Christian Chamo in the early stage of qualifying in the last lobby where he was on the track, and I think he validated his lap time through 130R after going out wide. And Josh there using every single part of the race circuit and even more to try and find the time he needs to put himself up there. He was struggling. He was one of the people that pitted early in the race as well, as he did the same strategy back in Austria. He pitted within 10 minutes of the race to do his mandatory one stop, and he didn't change tyres because you can take the wets quite far. The durability of these tyres are quite good, and it turns out the wet tyres can go towards the end, so you only need to pit for the mandatory one stop to refuel your car, and you'll be on your way again. Which was Nathan's big mistake as well back in the Austrian Grand Prix, which cost him a podium, as he should have been on there on that day, but unfortunately he wasn't. And Josh Evandro then sets the initial benchmark of a 12.2, as we saw the early qualifying sessions, as Harry Palmer goes up there in P1 with Nathan Booth 8/10 further behind, so Nathan there not getting the lap he was hoping for. His brother in P4, I think he started in 4th place. Now we did see Harry Palmer and Jacob Booth made contact going down into turn 1. And Ewan Small goes to the top of the time sheets once again, displaying some great pace. Jake Garrett pulled out of the back in the very final stage of qualifying. He saved his best until the last, which turned out to be 100 slower than Ewan Small. And here comes Jacob Booth. Can he get back up there where he left off in the previous qualifying? We're about to find out in a few moments' time as he crosses the line right now. P2, so that's still good there for Jacob Booth, and he'll be happy with that. But obviously a lot of drivers out there will improve. They got some experience under their belt due to having a wet qualifying session in the last lobby and the race as well. So this is like a second chance, a reset for the drivers, a second chance for those people who were down there to return, and maybe for those people who are at the front may go backwards because of the pressure, or trying to get the best that time because they know they had the pace in the first lobby and they want to push even harder and therefore might make a mistake. Jake Garrett, like I said, saved his best until the last final stage of qualifying, where he was only 100 slower, and then Ewan Small in P1. As once again, Ewan Small there, or Jake Garrett, sorry, at the exit of Degner 1 into Degner 2 immediately, which can be quite tricky. We've seen a few people go out wide on the exit, which you can do, but not in Formula 1 because that will lead to a straight invalidated lap time. Track limits can be quite difficult around here, especially in the F1 games. Penalties can be picked up, of course. We did see Jake Garrett make one mistake only when I went on board with him, so that mistake was down at 130R, the exit of it. He went out wide, so wide it allowed Ewan Small to close in, but luckily for him, that was the only mistake he did and was able to stay P1. Josh Evancho is 5 thousandths quicker than Christian Chandler in P5 as he crosses the line once again to see if he can improve, and that's the decent lap time from Josh, at 12.5 as Harry Palmer now goes towards the top of the standings there, and it's a 10th separating Harry and Ewan in P1 and P2. Started third, made that big mistake, but this is another golden opportunity for Harry Palmer, making that mistake in the first session but can rectify it and do something about it in the second. And Ewan Small once again raises the bar in P1, 5 tenths quicker or 6 tenths quicker than Harry Palmer. Where on earth does Ewan find this pace from? The very quick Scotsman indeed, once again doing a fantastic job, and the rest of them got a challenge to beat, it seems, as we see Jacob Booth once again in the McLaren. He'll cross the line right now and he stays in P4. Jurgen van Vienen, where did he go? He's up into P7 right now as Christian Chamo across the line. Looks like Pukalainen in P5. That's Kenny. He struggled in the qualifying session. It was outside the top 10 in the race, but he's up there in P5 so far, the Finnish driver, representing ILT, of course, because he's part of the ILT drivers team, with, I think, Cedar Magel and Leo Aries, I believe it is, their third driver. And in the Endurance League, we've had 2 rounds so far, as Joshua Banjo took the victory last week in Bathurst on his own, by the way, because obviously I was supposed to be partners with him, but like always, I backed out of it and decided to do what I do best, which is commentary. A quick fire qualifying session. 9 minutes have already gone, and Jake Garrett still hasn't got a lap on the board. He did this in the last session. He left it till the very last minute, and after this lap, Jake Garrett will only get one more lap after this, so he's got to count like it was in the first lobby for Jake. I'm not quite sure if he's like doing exploratory lap times, see where the grip is, and maybe trying to find the limits of the circuit. But however, Jake Garrett can't afford any mistakes, because like I said in the championship, he's lost a lot of points due to spinning out in France, which wasn't his fault because Ewan Small did tap the back of him, and also internet connection issues back at the Valencia Grand Prix, I believe the second round of the season, because he came off a high in Indianapolis but suffered with the internet in the second race of the season. Oh, is that Ewan Visser there hitting the wall? Where is that? Where has he spun and hit the wall? We'll stay on board with Jake Garrett to see what he does as he makes his way now towards the chicane, but I'm not quite sure. I think it's the exit of Dunlop where Ewan Visser has lost it, and there was a car right in front of us, but he's teleported back into the garage, and here comes Jake Garrett now crossing the line. Where can he go? It stays in P15. No, he doesn't. He went up somewhere. Where'd he go, actually? 16 now. So this is Jake Garrett's last qualifying attempt. He did this in the last session, and he got to P2 with a fantastic time, only 100 separating somebody in the background going off there. There comes Palmer. Palmer's finished his qualifying, stays in P2, so he can't improve. Josh Evandro is at the hairpin in the Buzz Lightyear car. Jared Dunley is in the pit lane. Nathan Booth out there along with Kenny there in a P7. Well, where is Ewan Small? Ewan Small retired early in the qualifying session, knowing that he was secured on pole only just though by 100. Not expecting Jake Garrett to find a lot of time and be up there. But qualifying has ended, and this is their driver's last chance to try and see where they can put themselves up the order. Like it was in the last qualifying session, Scott Dodds was on the fringes of the top 10, and now he's currently in P11 right behind the German of Dory there in P10 in the Ferrari, the only driver, of course, to be in the Ferrari car. Who else in the Ferrari? I think it's Rosnov, who is also in the Ferrari, and somebody else. But mainly McLaren's dominating the grid, as majority of McLarens are inside the top 10. It seems like the better car and everybody that wants to go for too. But qualifying then has ended, and Jake Garrett's making his way through Spoon now. Here's a last chance. He can't afford to put a single foot wrong around here, otherwise he'll be starting out at P16 where he shouldn't be, because he's got a lot more pace than that, albeit he hasn't got a lot of time. But Small, the championship leader, who leads the championship by 31 points and has got a comfortable margin, but we never know, anything could change in a race. You may have a good race last race, but in the next race you might find yourself tumbling down the order. So Ewan Small's looking to raise the bar, probably rectifying his mistake in last qualifying by retiring early, not knowing that Jake Garrett was going to be up there. 10.6 for him. I think it's the same lap time, maybe just quicker. I'm not quite sure. But Jake Garrett, has he got anything to say about that? And he hasn't. It's 4/10 behind, and he puts himself on the front row once again. So I think it's the same top four we had in the last qualifying session. But this time the gap's more marginal between the guys in P1 and P2. It was 100 separating, but this time Ewan Small has gone crazy once again and has put 4.5 tenths between himself and his nearest competitor. We did see Jake Garrett take the lead around the outside into turn 1. Will he do the same, or will Ewan Small change his approach going down into 1 and 2? Great stuff indeed. Then qualifying is done, and we're having a 30-minute race this time. So 30 minutes has been cut off. So once the 5-minute timer has been taken down, we can get racing once again. But in the meantime, I will read you the championship results. So Ewan Small leads the championship by 31 points ahead of Harry Palmer. Michael Eckholt, who hasn't scored on the podium yet this season, is P3, 4 points behind Harry Palmer. And Harry Palmer's got a big chance of extending that gap over Michael, because he's not here tonight. Jake Garrett's in P4, 126. He's 15 points behind Michael Eckholt in P3. Adrian Menendez, who has got a win and a podium this season, his previous results have been terrible. But in that one race in Valencia where he won a commanding victory over Nathan Booth, and he's in P5 in the championship. Nathan Booth is 8 points behind him in the championship, 6th place. 7th place is Christian Chamo, scored 1 podium this season, DNF to Valencia, and finished 4th at the French GP. And he was super close to a podium at the French GP until he dropped it, I think, in sector 3. And he cost himself a podium towards Josh and Harry. Josh is behind Christian by 6 points in the championship in 8th place, with Jurien van Vienen in P9, the Dutchman, with only about 7 points behind Josh. Phil Fisher, so when I was muted in the last session, I talked about him. Phil Fisher has got some excellent pace, but unfortunately, something just goes wrong during a race, whether it's contact with another person. His best result was at Valencia in 7th place. But other than that, it's just been an absolute dreadful season for Phil. And he's always been up there, like in France, but for some reason he finished in P16. So, whether it's his race pace, racecraft, his mentality, or his race etiquette, we'll see what's happened to him. But yeah, he's way further down the championship than I thought he'd be in P10. And 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. While the timer is ticking down, guys, I will go to the toilet, and this time I will not mute myself. I was so frustrated last lobby because I was giving out a lot of facts and figures about Japan, about the drivers, about the previous races, everything, you name it, as I like to do. And I was saying a lot of interesting things too about this season. But I watched the stream back, and I couldn't hear myself speak. I was like, my mic is off mute, but it turns out my headset's not, because I usually use the controller mic for muting. So that really frustrated me, and I was giving out a lot of good information too about what drivers have done in the last few races, etc. So yeah, what a waste of time that was. But you can hear me loud and clear this time, and I am here. Don't worry, I wasn't away during the last lobby. I was there, seeing Harry Palmer making a mistake, seeing Ewan Small let through by, well, seeing Jay Garrett leading the race. People pitting early like they did in Austria. We're 10 minutes into the race. But yeah, I'll be back once the timer goes down to 0.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
So we get underway for the formation lap, and they have to remain a double file before we get to the finish line to signify when the drivers can go. Now, will Ewan Small learn from his mistake? And Jake Garrett took the outside line, but there's not much Ewan Small can do because the side by side on the straight, there's nothing he can really do unless I'll break himself into turn 1 and risk it all. But yeah, just try and let's see what he can do this time. Jay Gallagher trying to... Oh, who's that just smashed into the wall? I'm quite sure who that was. Let's have a look. Can't really tell who that was. Yeah, we'll skip that. But it's going to be an interesting start because Ewan Small knows what Jay Gallagher's going to do and try and go around the outside into 1. We did see Harry Palmer and Jacob Booth make contact going down into turn 1 when they bumped each other, but nothing serious happened, so luckily they kept it on the track. Josh Abanjo there, good qualifying. I think he was in P7 and P8 during the early stages of the last lobby, so a few places further up could be a contention with the guys in front of him. I feel sorry for Jacob Booth in P4 because it looked like he was on course for a podium, but unfortunately we had that issue with the lobby. And with the difficulty of this track being hard to overtake, I don't know if he can try and get Harry Palmer. The best place to do it is lap 1. But he tried to go around the outside, I think, into turn 1, but can't quite pull it off. And Harry Palmer gifted him P3 by spinning out. But Harry Palmer, this is his second chance. You don't get many second chances in racing like Carlos Sainz did back in Monaco when he sustained that front left puncher by hitting or touching Oscar Piastri's side pod or floor, and that gave him a left front puncher, where we saw that big crash between Perez, Magnussen and Hulkenberg. I mean, I haven't even spoke about F1 on this commentary yet. Not even in the last lobby where I was speaking. So we were at the Belgian Grand Prix, I think, 2 weeks ago, and what a race for Mercedes that was. The strategy was right. Oh, what's going on here? Please don't tell me there's another glitch. Oh my god. Oh my goodness me. This rate, I think it might be postponed whenever, but I'm really sorry about this, guys. It is my fault, and yeah, I'm not going to explain why it's my fault, but it is. You might want to go back to when just before the lobby disconnected. That'll give you the reason why it disconnected. And I want to say I'm really sorry. And I was waiting for everybody to be on me, like when you get trouble at school and you're waiting for the teacher to tell you off. Nobody's noticed, but they will notice, so I might as well tell you, because you're gonna watch the stream anyway. Well, some of you are, and I want to say I really do apologise about that. I didn't know. If I did know, I wouldn't have done it, and I'm really sorry about it. I tried to watch something again, but it turns out I crashed the whole server. So luckily nobody's noticed, but I'm expecting a whole bunch of people to be come down on me like a bunch of bricks. So yeah, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Sorry for Jacob Booth as well in P3. He's gonna be really mad at me. Oh well, that's the end of the Japanese Grand Prix then. We've red flagged the race, and we'll see you all in the next race, as I'll get the race up, because I can't actually remember what the next race is. Laguna Seca. That's going to be an interesting one to watch in round 6. I like that track, you know. I really like the downhill section, and I know that track because of MotoGP, and they've had so many great battles going downhill into that section. It's a good track overall. I really enjoy it, so hopefully that we'll see some good battling there next week. Nathan says you're not allowed to qualify in the top 4 because it caused a server crash, says Nathan. The game's not used for Jacob Booth to be up there, that's why it crashed. But anyways, in all seriousness though, I do apologise about all of this. I didn't know that was going to happen. If I did, I wouldn't have done it, so I'm just waiting for everybody to notice what I've done, and yeah, expect a lot of people to be mad at me in the chat. It is my fault, nobody else's, and yeah, just waiting until it happens. I'll see you all later. Have a good night, and see you next Sunday, hopefully.